I think a lot of women want a rich man, and this is something I see a lot randomly. And while I'm not a woman, I am a man that, falls in the richer man category. I'm a recent millionaire. I do okay for myself financially. And I just want to say the quiet part out loud because I think that there are a lot of women that lie to women at large so that you can better construct your expectations when you're trying to find, the rich guy or whatever, right? And this matters to me because I also have sisters, I have a lot of female family members, and this is something that I hear a lot. So the best way I can describe it is by using this analogy. So let's say that you are someone that is looking to conduct business, right? You're like, I want to conduct business and I need to find where all the business people are, okay? So you do your research and you learn that all the business people are at JFK, and JFK is an airport in New York, okay? So you're like, all right, I need to find my way into JFK because that's where all the business people are. So you buy a cheap flight from New York to Miami, okay? So that you can get through TSA and you can get into the airport because, of course, that's where the business people are and that's who you want to meet so that you can conduct business. So you go through TSA, you go through security, and then you end up at gate 38 because that's where your flight is, right? Like you're flying from New York, you're going to Miami, and you're looking around, you're sitting there and you're looking around and you're like, okay, where are all the business people, right? Because when I did my research and when my mentor told me that all the business people were going to be here, I thought that I would have immediately found all of the people that I want to associate with. Now, the joke is that, yes, while all the business people are at JFK, right, in this example, what you need to realize is that they are in JFK, but they're actually at the Amex Centurion Lounge. They're actually at the Delta One Lounge. Actually, they go to JFK because they pick up the PJ there to fly, right? So the analogy or the relationship that I'm trying to bring to you is that while people might say, oh, you need to be in these certain environments to, find this rich guy if you want or this well-off guy, you need to understand that there's certain rooms that even if you're in close general proximity, if you don't get over a certain social line or you don't get like the ticket to enter the club, you won't be able to find exactly what you're looking for. Because if you think about it, it's like, all right, well, if I didn't spend 100,000 on my, platinum Amex, I can't even get into the damn lounge, right? Or if I don't have a particular card, or if my ticket is not expensive enough, I can't even get into these places. Which is why I wish there was a little bit more honesty when it came onto these types of topics. And if you're someone that is deeply trying to find a way to like break through or enter these environments, at least in my own personal opinion, I think, and again, this is like real, raw, unfiltered, I think that there are three main ways that you could break through. So one is you have to be unusually attractive. And I'm not talking about like someone that is, just like a pretty girl, people might want to come to you, talk you up, get your number. No, I'm talking about like, you're in great shape, unusually attractive, someone that could be like model-esque, right? Because, people have eyes and that's how they kind of choose for the most part. Now, the next thing is, the next thing is you're able to break into certain industries at a high level. So let's say that you work at like a REIT or you work in private equity, venture capital. You might be doing like investment banking at a bulge bracket bank, something like that. You're a part of like a notable high society club. Like those are ways in which you can bridge the gap between where you are and where they are. And finally, and I think that this is probably the lowest barrier to entry for most people, but it's education. Education is well documented to be like the great equalizer, but like not all education is equal. You would have to go to the schools that have all of these like high performing movers and shakers of the land. It's really that important. So long story short, right, like while I do think it's worthwhile consuming the content you want to consume because it makes you better at large, I just think that a lot of women are getting set up for failure. And I know it's not this is not my fight or anything like that, but I do get some consultations in which women inquire to me about this stuff. So I think it's worthwhile just being forthcoming. That's all.